Welcome to Cord Cutting today for January 17th, 2020. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now and give you my opinion on them. Now, this is my opinion. If you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your opinions. Let us know what you think. I'll love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. And hopefully I can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. Now, it's been a very busy day in the world of cord cutting. We've learned about Peacock and more, all coming up. But let's get started off with Comcast issuing refunds. So Comcast has agreed to issue $1.14 million in refunds to people from Minnesota as part of a settlement with the Minnesota's Attorney General for not delivering certain gift cards and other issues with like returning modems that were being rented and more. So basically Comcast has agreed that Comcast will also be updating their advertising to better explain extra fees and charges for residential services. This is one more of a growing number of states that are cracking down on places like Comcast. CenturyLink has also had similar issues for what they say is their advertising not properly explaining fees, taxes, and more. That has resulted in Comcast not being able to, or Comcast not properly explaining things, not issuing certain gift cards, or customers being charged fees and taxes they weren't expecting. If you think you are eligible for a refund, check out our story down below. I'll have a link there where you can learn more about how this would go about and more there. But look for these being more and more common. There are a growing number of states that are looking into places like Comcast and CenturyLink to say, hey, truth in advertising, you're not fully disclosing all your hidden fees and all that. Yeah, they're there, but you're hiding it. You're advertising one price when really something else is happening here. And that's where we're seeing this go forward. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this and how it works. But right now, good news. You may be eligible for a refund. Check out the story down below if you're from Minnesota and had Comcast. All right, speaking of Comcast, they announced their new Peacock streaming service. Good news, there will be a 100% free tier. So there's going to be a free tier with, I believe it was 15,000 hours worth of content, a paid tier with additional content on top of that. So the free tier will be ad supported. Comcast says they're going to limit it to 5 minutes of ads per 1 hour of viewing. So if you watch a 1 hour of a movie, you'll only see 5 minutes worth of ads, which will probably be some of the lowest ad load on any free service. They will have a premium version with additional content that will cost $4.99 with an ad-supported version and $8.99, I believe it was, for an ad-free version of it. So if you don't want ads, there is a way to get 100% away from ads if you're willing to pay. Now, Comcast will have a ton of back catalog content like all the Battlestar Galacticas, The Office, and more coming to Peacock. Now I'll launch, I think The Office doesn't leave Netflix for another year until January 2021. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But a lot of content, they talked about a lot more content coming very soon to Peacock, original programming. Live sports, live news will be there. Some sporting events not aired on television will stream on Peacock, they say. So it seems like they're trying to combine a lot of their different sources. They will be bringing a huge catalog of things like Saturday Night Live there and more. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The pricing is not bad. And actually, it seems like they're following Pluto. Comcast announces that they're going to curate channels. So there'll be all these live channels like, here's a 24/7 Battlestar Galactica channel, for example. Now, this sounds very Pluto-esque. Like, Pluto has those live feeds where they take all that Viacom content, they curate it into live channels, plus you have an on-demand selection. Peacock's going to be doing the same, where you have on-demand, where you can just jump right into a particular show, a particular episode you want. Or you'll be able to just scroll through these different channels and say, hey, I'm just in the mood for some random comedies, and here's a comedy channel with just some NBC-owned comedy properties. So lots of content coming there. They will have some Olympic coverage, for instance, the opening and closing ceremonies. This year will be streaming on Peacock, of course also on NBC, but you have another streaming option right here to watch it. They will be having NBC sports coverage, NBC news coverage there, and more. Definitely looked like NBC went around like, what was the best parts of the Netflix app? What's the best parts of Pluto TV? What's the best parts of this? What's the best parts of that? And smash them together into a single one. I'm going to give Comcast an A here, at least for trying to make an effort to make a seriously good service here. We'll have to see what the final product comes out to be. Comcast says the Peacock service will launch for Comcast customers in April, and I believe it was July 15th. Yes, July 15th, 2020, nationwide for non-Comcast customers. Comcast Internet-only customers will be able to get Peacock Premium for free if you also get a Flex streaming player. The downside here is you need to get Comcast's proprietary streaming player and have Comcast Internet to get it for free if you want to watch it there. If you want to watch it on your Roku, Fire TV, and more, you're going to have to go pay for it if you're not a Comcast TV customer or a Cox. They actually partner with Cox too, so if you're a Cox TV subscriber, you can get Peacock Premium for free also. But I'm assuming, from my understanding, that is the ad-supported premium version of Peacock, free for Comcast TV customers and Comcast Internet customers. You'll still have to pay, maybe there'll be a discount if you want the ad-free experience. But it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Leave me a comment, let me know, what do you think of Peacock? What do you think of the model of hey, here's a free service, here's a paid version, here's a slightly more expensive paid version with no ads. I know there's some people who are happy with ad-supported free content. I know there's some people out there who say, I absolutely hate seeing ads, and I'm willing to pay. Comcast is saying, hey, we can do that. If you want an ad-free version and you're willing to pay, we'll offer that. Very interested to see how this all plays out. I'm very interested to see all the original programming they come with. Their catalog isn't massive of original programming, but it's a good size. They're really banking here a lot on, we're NBC Universal. We have an absolutely massive catalog of NBC Universal content. Now, NBC does have a deal with Hulu that keeps their content on Hulu for a few more years. What they do at the end of that, we'll have to wait and see. NBC still owns part of Hulu, so it's in their interest to keep it going for now. But Disney does have an option in a few years to try to buy out Comcast's NBC Universal part of Hulu. At that time, it wouldn't surprise me if that happens, and then Hulu NBC Universal content moves over to Peacock. But that is years down the road. A lot of people are freaking out. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there. Don't get caught up in the doom and gloom, because even if NBC tries to do that, we're talking years down the road. Think of cord cutting 2 years ago. Cord cutting was a very different place 2 years ago. Trying to predict what cord cutting is going to be 2 years from now, it's almost impossible. So I really would not spend a lot of time worrying about that. So there you go. There is your Peacock update. Leave me a comment. Will you subscribe to Peacock? Will you just do the free? Will you do the paid? What do you think of Peacock? I'd love to hear from you. All right, PlayStation Vue is about 2 weeks away from shutting down. Now, we kind of sat down, we really broke out why did PlayStation Vue fail, both why I think it failed, why some people who work there think it failed, and why it needs to be a warning for other services. I do worry that other services could fall victim to the same thing that killed PlayStation Vue. For example, PlayStation or AT&T TV Now has been doing a lot of cool things. New expanded DVR and more. They're not communicating with their subscribers very well about that. One of the reasons I think Sony's PlayStation Vue failed was poor communication. I'd love to know though, why do you think PlayStation Vue failed? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought was the final death nail for PlayStation Vue. What do you think would be the final, do you think there's any other services following in PlayStation Vue step of making similar mistakes? Leave me a comment and let me know. But I really encourage you to read that full post because it really breaks down in depth some of the reasons I think it failed, some of the reasons people who work there told me they believe it failed. All right, next story up. One of the things I get asked about is how do I stop all the emails and all the phone calls from places like Comcast, Dish, Spectrum, and more? I'm sick of getting this spam from them. Good news is you can turn off their ability to call you and more. A lot of them have do not call, do not mail registries where you can say, even though they're still legally allowed to because you had a relationship with them within the last whatever time frame, you can go in there and say, hey Comcast, hey Dish, hey Spectrum, hey AT&T, stop contacting me. And we broke down all the ways to do that over at CoreCarsNews.com. And if you want to learn how to stop getting mail and stop getting phone calls from them, check out the show. It's down below. Good news for fans of Chip and Joanna Gaines, those huge HGTV stars. Here, actually, I don't live far from their Magnolia Silo's been there. It's kind of cool. But their new TV network will launch this year. We had heard it was going to happen in the summer of 2020. Now we have an exact date, and it'll be coming to Sling TV, Philo, and Fubo TV. More to come in a quick second. But the new network will launch on October 4th. It will include a ton of Chip and Joanna Gaines content, so Fixer Upper is probably going to be there. And it will include some of the more popular DIY network shows. So the new network will be replacing DIY on Fubo, Sling TV, and Philo. Will be replacing it in the channel lineup. So good news that if you are excited, it's coming. This is kind of a rebrand, but a rebrand in the same kind of way that I think it was the Soap Opera Network became the Esquire. It's like, yeah, they're still the same channel, still the same parent company, but they're totally redoing the channel with new content, new lineup, and a new focus. DIY to the new Chip and Joanna Gaines network won't be that big of a difference, but they're considering this a totally new network launch. So keep a close eye on this. It could come to other networks before launch. October 4th is a ways down the road. All right, the free streaming service Stir has added 5 new channels, including some 24/7 channels like the Beverly Hillbillies and a Sherlock Holmes channel and more. So if you're a fan of free content, Stir has been adding a lot of content recently. Check that out. Link in the show notes. And let me know, do you use Stir right here? What do you think of Stir? What's your favorite channel on Stir? What's your favorite free streaming content on there? Let me know. Speaking of free, Roku has updated their list of the top 10 free Roku channels. We got a full breakdown of the most popular ones, and we have a new number 1. The Roku channel is now, according to Roku, the most popular free streaming service on Roku. Leave me a comment what you think about that. Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? Let me know. But if you want to find the full list of the top 10 free Roku channels, link in the show notes down below. Lastly, Ooma, which is the home phone service. We actually use their business solution here at the office. Very happy for it. But it's a home phone service targeting cord cutters that offers the ability to use your internet to have a home phone still in your house. Has released an update, including a couple cool features. They now have a battery pack that you can get for your Ooma phone system. So if the power goes out, your Ooma phone system will continue. But you're saying my internet may not be working. Don't worry, Ooma's got you covered there. They're now offering a 4G backup solution so that if your internet service ever goes out, it will roll over to 4G phone and the battery pack to continue to have your phone system work so that you can watch or you can make phone calls even though the power may be out, even though the internet may not be working. So if you want to learn more about that, it's a great option. I know a lot of cord cutters really want the ability to have home internet, but also save money in their home phone. For maybe kids are home by themselves. Maybe they're teenagers, but you don't have a cell phone for them. Maybe you need a fax line or some other service there. Ooma is a great option. I have really enjoyed it, and it's been a fraction of the cost of a traditional phone system here over at Core Cars News. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of these new systems. Do you use Ooma? Or do you use another competitor service? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Real quick, somebody was asking me how on a Roku TV I have an IMDb TV app. So IMDb TV is the free streaming service from Amazon. It comes bundled with a Fire TV, and that's what I got here. I got a Fire TV plugged into this TV. You got the stick in the back of it. But IMDb TV is available on Roku, not as a standalone app. But if you go into the Amazon app, even if you're not an Amazon Prime subscriber, you scroll through to the channels, it's in there. You keep scrolling through, somewhere down one of those rows will be IMDb's free ad-supported movies and television shows. So if you're looking for a way for IMDb TV on Roku, it is there, but it's in the Amazon Channels app. But on Amazon, it's a standalone Fire TV app for the Amazon Fire TV. That's it for today. I hope you're all doing well. It's a cold, rainy day as we got a cold front coming through here in Texas. I hope wherever you are, you're staying warm. I know cold, rainy days in Texas are probably a lot nicer than the cold, snowy days I grew up with in Michigan. My sympathies, everybody about to get hit with snow up there. I hope you're all being safe. Stay off the roads, be careful, take some extra time. Thank you to everybody for your recent subscription. Ooh. And thank you to everybody for your recent support. We really do appreciate it. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for our weekly recap. And if you're gone this weekend, I'll see you on Monday.